Hi guys, this is Bill from Spencer1984.com with the final update to the Warlord Firebird funny car. And it's been a thing. It's definitely been a thing. So, starting out with what didn't go quite right, the tires. Now, these are the tires that I was originally going to be using, the Dixie Pick tires like we saw in Orange Blossom Special Kit. And they're good until I tried to put them with the body. And, yeah, that just doesn't work. So instead, I'm going to be using these guys, some resin tires that I picked up, and they fit the wheel openings much better. Now that looks a whole lot closer to what I wanted. So that was the rear tires, and I also ended up replacing the front tires because the ones that came in the kit, once I put everything together, ended up being too narrow for the wheels. So I just found these, swapped them out. And speaking of oddities where the kit doesn't match itself, take a look at this roll bar. They've got a 4-point bar and that retainer right there. And, that's also backed up by the box art, showing that same style right here. But that's not what's actually included in the kit. See, in the kit here, they've got a 6-point roll cage, and no way that that retaining clip can fit in there. Also, take a look at the way that the engine is set up here, specifically the intake manifold and where the magneto ended up having to go. And you can see the belt is all lined up as it should be. Supercharger is exactly where it needs to be according to how everything fits together. So really only one way that would fit together, but that's not how they wanted you to put it together. Yeah, so kind of screwed up there. And we flip the page here, and you see here that they've got 2 tanks right here going to the sides of the frame down here, even though there's a little nubbin drawn on the frame rail there. Kind of weird, so looked at the frame, and sure enough, there is in fact a mounting point on the upper rail, not the lower. Until we go over here, and steering linkage is in the way. There is a mount point there, but the steering linkage totally blocks it. So they just moved the arrow, I guess, but didn't do any remolding. But I think my favorite instructional mishap with this kit is the way that they kind of yada yada over how the steering is supposed to go together. Nothing in the steps ahead of it, nothing in any of the steps after it that shows how it's supposed to be set up. This is it. And you just get those couple of arrows pointing vaguely to the opposite side of the car in the hopes that you can figure out where it's supposed to go. I ended up doing a little trial and error, tried to check online, didn't find anything there, but this is about the best that I could figure out it was supposed to go. Because that way it puts the crank right on the side, and it does line up the steering arm here with the front wheels like I think it's supposed to. Now, that could be wrong. Dragsters of this vintage are not my strong suit, so your mileage may vary. If you know any better than that, please let me know. And honestly, despite everything, I do kind of like the way that the frame here turned out. I think it's pretty neat looking. I like the way the tires look on it, certainly. And once I got everything lined up the way that it looked best, it does look pretty decent. So last thing then is the body. And in a weird event that I've not had happen for a long time, the decals went and silvered on me. Don't know how well it's coming across in this light, but all of them, you can kind of see it there on the hood, and then this is the worst side. And I'm not entirely sure why they turned out this way. Used other decals off this same sheet, used the same paint, used every trick I could think of to get rid of it, but that's just the way it's decided to go. Now, fortunately, the way that the body fits on, actually just snaps right in there, and then that hinge So the body is really easy to put on and take off, and does have functioning hinges. So I may end up replacing the decals at some point in the future. I don't know. For right now, I think I'm just kind of good with calling this one done. It's not terrible. It's just not exactly how I was hoping it would come out. But let's see if we can get some side-by-side shots with some of the other vehicles in the SST line. Don't quite have enough room for all four of them, but first up we'll get black gold here. There's the two of the same color palette. We got the big man on campus here. Bigfoot, built from the original AMT kit. There's that. And move the camera a little bit for what I think is going to be my favorite of the four. There we go. And that one is Orange Blossom Special. Of the four, Orange Blossom Special here just is the closest to how I wanted it to turn out. Good looking truck. I like the way that the paint turned out on it. I like the way that the graphics turned out. It wasn't without its headaches here and there, but you know, that's what you get with the older kit. For some reason though, Warlord just wanted to go to war apparently. And it's one of those builds that just kind of fights you a little bit all the way through. But yeah, I'm not really ripping on it. It sounds worse than it is. Like I said, just not exactly how I wanted it to turn out, but I'm glad that I got it done. It's going to be a decent shelf model, and I'm happy to have all four of them done at this point. So yeah, that is a wrap for 2023. So I'm going to be posting my year-end look back next weekend. I'm going to be maybe posting one or two other videos shortly after that, and then I will be introducing my 2024 theme. So you can check back for those, and thanks for watching.